Hey, what's up guys, it's Theo from Final Concept. So today I'm going to show you how I edit and resize my images for Instagram. Let's just get started. Welcome to Final Concept. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. So for this tutorial, I'll be using this image which I have here, and as you can see, I have clearly not edited it. So what I'll do is I'll right click and go to open with, and I'll open it up with Photoshop. Now the first thing I'm going to do is resize this to fit my Instagram needs. And for Instagram, what you typically have to get into mind is it has a 4:5 aspect ratio. So anytime you are uploading, you have to keep that 4:5 aspect ratio in mind. That is going to be the tallest height and the longest width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the crop tool, which is right here or see on your keyboard, and I'm going to set a ratio, a specific ratio. So in my case, I'll make it 4 and here will be 5. But I'm pretty sure you can also have it here 4:5 or 8:10 if you multiply each of them by 2. Of course. So what I'll do is I'll just resize this to fit that specific need. So this is going to be the crop size anytime I'm going to be uploading to Instagram. So you also have to bear this in mind anytime you're taking a picture so that you don't zoom too much in and you are ending up with something like this where you have to crop up certain areas you don't even need. So anytime you're taking a picture, make sure you have the crop factor in mind. Allow a little bit of space on the edges, in case you want to crop it at some point. So once I have that, let's zoom in. Now before I edit any of my images, I try to create a duplicate. So using Ctrl J or just click and drag and drop onto the new layer icon, which is right here. So this is going to create a crop for me, and I have something like this. So once I have this, what I'm going to do is likely for me, she has done a nice makeup, so I don't really have so many blemishes to work with or anything to work with, but I'm still going to be grabbing the spot healing brush tool or the healing brush tool. I prefer using the healing brush tool. So what I'll do is I'll hold down the Alt key and sample an area, a clean area, and if you can see clearly, if I zoom in, you'll notice that we have some we have some imperfections over here. So this is what I'll take away. I'll take away these tiny parts. I think everything I have so far is cool. Now you can see there's one strand of hair out of place. So I'll sample this area and just take that part away by just clicking and dragging, of course. Now just look through. If there's any other part I need to correct, I'll just go through that. And basically that is the first part for my editing. Now you notice that I'm doing all of this on a new layer. So if I turn it off and on, you can't really see because it is just one part. So the next thing is I'm going to be editing the image itself. Now I already have edited it, but we are going to go through one more time. So I'll create another duplicate, and this is going to be the edited part. So I'll go to filter and I'll go to camera raw filter, or you can use Ctrl Shift and A to just access camera raw filter. Now once I'm in the camera raw filter, this is what I typically do. I'll go into calibrations. If you are using an older version of Photoshop, it should be aligned horizontally instead of vertically like this. So what I do is I increase the hue of the greens to about 10%, and I increase the saturation for the greens to about +10, and the saturation for the blue to about +20. And as you can see, it just makes the color pop a little bit more, and I prefer it like this. Now since I've already edited this, I don't want to make it too drastic, so I'll bring it back here and I'll go into color mixer, other Photoshop, just find hue, saturation and luminance. I think it's HSL. It should be something here. So what I'll do is I just bring down the orange a little bit down. Usually I make it -10. The reason for this is I don't want the color to look too reddish, but I won't be reducing the reddish. So this is how the orange looks like. I don't want the color to look too weird. So I typically send it down to -10, and the luminance I also bring it down so that she'll still look darker. So once I've done that, then I'll try and increase a few of the saturation in case I want them. So in yellows, I think I'm okay with the yellows. I think I'm okay with the greens as well. But for the blues, I want them to pop a little bit more because of her dress. So I'll increase the blues just a little bit, somewhere around here. And sometimes the purples also will be in the color, especially when it is white or a color close to blue. You also see it in there. So basically, these are the few things I do for the entire image, and I just click on OK. So this is our before and this is our after. You can see that the blues are looking a little bit much nicer now. All right, so basically, if I'm done with all of this, I don't think there's any weird editing. Okay, there's one more editing that I do with the eyes and the teeth. If you haven't checked out my video on how to whiten eyes and teeth, I'll leave it up here in the card or down in the description below, so check that one out. But basically, this is what I do. I use the lasso tool, which is here, L on your keyboard, and I'll select around the eyes, hold down the shift key so that I can select this area as well. Then I'll use Control Shift A, just like we did before. I'll just go into the camera raw filter and I'll go into the color mixer, which is somewhere around here. Then under saturation, I'll reduce the yellows. The yellows are found in the eyes. Then I'll go into the luminance and I'll increase the luminance to about, yeah, something like this. And let me turn this off. So if I turn it off and on, you can see that the eyes are popping much nicer. Instead of you looking a little bit too yellowish, I think this looks much better. Now for the most important part, you have edited your images, everything looks perfectly, but there's a problem. Anytime you upload on Instagram, it kind of shrinks the image into looking weird, which is something we don't want. So here's how to resize it for Instagram. So what you do is you go to File, you go to Export, and you should see Save for Web. You can also use Shift, Alt, Control, and S. That is if you like keyboard shortcuts like me. So in this place, what I'm going to do basically is just change the height and the width. Now, since they are all linked together, changing this will just change this as well. Now, anytime you're uploading to Instagram, the maximum height should be, I think it's 1080, but I still do not upload 1080. I don't use the highest resolution because at some point it may compress the image if the details are too much or the image size is too huge. So typically I'll have it around 960 to 1050, within that range, depending on the colors in the image. So the image you have right now, you can see that there are a lot of colors in there. So I'll make it around 950, 960. So that is for the height, not the width. That is for the height. So 960, it should be fine. And I'll use the quality about 75%, and I'll just click on Save. Now this is going to ask me where to save it. So let's just save it on my desktop. So on my desktop, this is the image. Now if you zoom in, it looks ridiculous. As you can see, it is completely destroyed. But trust me, when you upload it to Instagram, it's going to look perfect on your smartphone. So basically that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more of our videos, hit that subscribe button, and as always, don't forget to share with your family and friends. This is Theo from Philo Concept, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.